What's happening, guys? It is Friday the 14th. First off, I want to thank everybody who shot the birthday things out to me, whatever you want to call those. I'm not a big birthday guy. I've got an amazing mom that wanted to make sure that we knew that we were special. So she celebrated the hell out of them so hard, all the way up until junior high, that I pretty much got them all taken care of, if you will. But she did such an amazing job showing up to school with the balloons and the donuts and everything for the class. And it was awesome having a mom like that who cared so much to make sure that we felt special. But then as you get older, it's like, man, I've already pretty much handled all that. But a lot of people sending birthday wishes. I appreciate that. What I noticed is interesting about getting older is you don't really feel. I remember my parents talking about, the other people talking about, you don't feel your age when you start getting older. 48 years old does not seem like where I'm at. I feel like I'm a hell of a lot younger than that, but I do spend a lot of time with people younger than me. So that's probably why it's feeling that way. So this last week, especially yesterday, with CPI coming out, it was brutal. CPI was not a massive change, right? But it was higher than what the anticipation was. Because of that, what the market consensus was prior to the release to what it really was very, very small difference. But it was enough that the market freaked out. In fact, mortgage bonds dropped a full 135 basis points at one point. That's a massive, massive move. That was ugly. But it crawled back. Now, it took all day long to crawl back. It was down only about, I think, like 22, if I remember correctly, at its highest point, which still, it was a down day, but it wasn't down like where it was at. We didn't have rates even available to us for the most of yesterday. So why did it move like that? Well, one, I mean, it's been an oversold territory like crazy. Plus, there's a market knee-jerk reaction. The other is you get over to what's happening across the pond. We've got basically this is some developing things in UK that there was also some happenings with their, I guess, equivalent to our 10-year treasury, right? It's called the 10-year gilt. Because of what was happening over there, it caused a rally in what they had. Therefore, that rally spilled over to our side, helped things come back up. So that, in fact, let's just take a look real quick at what happened here, so you can see from my perspective what has occurred in the bonds, and you can kind of get a feel for what we were looking at. Let's hope that this works. Yep, there we go. Small jump cut, not a big deal. Oh, so you can see here, look at this massive, massive decline that we had. Now, I had drawn, I guess there's a reset here. I'll go ahead and draw the channel while we're talking together here. So you can see what I believe is driving things. And this really has to do with the technicals associated with the market. Now, I could be a little bit off here. I drew this out earlier and had it more lined up the way it needed to be, this downward channel. And as a result of that, I'm thinking this is what's going to keep us moving in this particular direction for a while. Kind of hard to say exactly how it's going to play out, because there's so many things that happen in the market that causes us to, at least causes the bonds to move one direction or the other. So if you look at this particular channel, we've been fighting this channel, and then we popped above it, and now we've been skipping along the top of it. With that loss yesterday, that drop yesterday, we hammered really, really low, but came right back up right to the top of the channel again. Now, here we are bouncing right off of that. And I think I'm a little off on my chart here. There we go. We're hitting right at the top of that channel. And I think we're going to continue to ride that channel down. So if you're sitting here thinking you're debating, do I lock right now? Do I wait? Do I see if the rates get better? This is showing me we're not going to get better fast. I'm not seeing any reason for us to hold this out unless you're going to be sitting on something for the next year or so. I have no idea what your next year is going to bring. There's a lot of speculation that next year things might get a little bit better because supply chain is going to open up. Shipping is opening up. It's just not translating to actual cost yet. Because of that, we might see cost of things go down. Cost of things go down. Inflation gets better. Inflation gets better. It helps mortgage-backed securities. It helps all bonds. So as a result of that, we could see something down the road, but it's not guaranteed, because look at the black swan things that we've dealt with so far that nobody anticipated. So my opinion, I'll keep standing by this opinion. I've been standing by it all along. I've had too many people we talked to said, well, let's just hold out and see what happens. And then they get pissed at us because the rates got worse. I'm telling you, if you've got it, lock it. If you're in contract, don't back out of it, because we've got supply chain issues. We've got the situation happening in Florida. We're going to have things at least pushing over there to rebuild what's already been there. Housing is not going to be going up much faster as far as the new builds. We're not going to get more supply in housing. rents are going to keep going up. Now, are they going to go up at the extremely high pace that we've seen? I don't know. That's why I say when you look at a property to purchase, quit staring at the first 2 years of your cash on cash return. That's some amateur bullshit, guys. It just really is. These people that call me up and complain about the first couple of years, you ain't a real estate investor yet. You haven't had your chops busted long enough to understand what it is to really look at the full deal. So you want to look at the first 5 years at the minimum. And what does it look to be a 3 to 5 year compounding increase in your rents? And what does that translate to in those first 5 years? That's what I see people looking at. They're successful at this. They want to get into it, run it long term. If you're expecting to get this 10, 12, 9, whatever percent cash on cash return out of the gate, that ship sailed a long time ago, man. It's not, you're not catching up with it. So nut up, look at it the way you should be. At this being a long-term thing, start looking at the amortization of the loan. Somebody else is paying off that leverage. Look at the type of property you're buying. Can you keep it reasonably rented? What kind of maintenance and issues you're going to be dealing with in the near future? If you're buying a new build, let me backing out of that thing. Because right now, especially if you can lock in your costs, I don't see anything that's out there that's going to help you get a better deal down the road. Nothing is pointing that. So stay in your contract, look it over, make sure you're getting the right property, not something that's going to leave you flapping in the breeze that you can't rent out. That's what the main thing you need to be looking at here. The other thing is people are running around shopping like crazy looking for a better rate. You may find something somewhere. It's possible. But here's what I also have noticed over the years. Every time I see somebody's got some crazy program out there with some commercial loan or some lender that's not going with agency money, they tend to shut down and stop when markets gets crazy. I saw when COVID hit, some of these outfits that do these commercial loans, basically, it's a commercial loan on a residential real estate. They had $30-40 million in transactions they're supposed to fund, canceled them all. Happened right during the COVID thing. Guys who were selling all those that were the AEs on that, what they call account executives on those, their pipeline is completely dry because the organization liquidity problems happen. They shut everything down. They don't honor locks when that kind of stuff happens. Agency money, I haven't seen that kind of thing happen. I'm saying it can't, but you got to understand what you're getting into. And because it looks shiny over there, doesn't mean it really is. So stick with the stuff you know that will always work and they'll always fulfill, because what happens if you go a route because it looked a little bit better up front and something goes sideways, now you got to go back the other direction and the rates went to shit. So stay with what you know, control what you can control as long as you control it. You have any questions about this stuff, any of this things sound wrong, if you want to call me out on this, call me. Schedule a time with Bree. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk it over. We'll go back and forth. And I could be wrong. What I say may not be for you. You may say, hell with that son of a bitch. I'm going to go the direction I'm going to go. That's perfectly fine. But those who want to dig into where this crap out, I've been doing this for almost 25 years. I've seen the cycles. I've seen where people get their ass kicked. I'm just wanting to keep you from getting your ass kicked. Is basically what I'm here to do. So if you want to chat, get a hold of me. Otherwise, I'll be talking to you guys on Tuesday.